really my grounding and coping while getting sober, helping me was the sweats and being on the land. I just found myself I was more lighter, I guess, after the healing camps. I felt like a lot lighter, and when I'd go to the city, I wouldn't be as triggered as I was before the sweats and stuff. So the grounding of being on the land really helped me in the beginning of my sobriety for sure.
So welcome, listeners, back to Return of the Buffalo podcast. I'm here with my co-host, Rachel White-Samard, and very much looking forward to sharing with you a conversation that we had with Marina Coates, who was one of the moms who has been part of our Return of the Buffalo community for a few years now. Yeah, I feel like we had just a really great connection. She's got a powerful story. I wonder, Rachel, what comes to mind for you as you think about the conversation we had with Marina?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I think Marina, when she was at the retreats at Sandy-Saulteaux at the Return of the Buffalo retreats, she was one of those mums who was just really stood out. She was really attentive to her little boy. She was in the kitchen helping
Yep.
a lot. And I think as I sort of stood shoulder to shoulder with her as we either did dishes or we served food or we were Saskatoon picking. She has had a lot of experience sort of in the domestic arts, that us women are often part of. And it was just it's been really lovely to sort of stay in contact with her. And when you suggested that we invite Marina to come and chat with us, I was so glad that she said yes, because she does. She has a powerful story. And I think, we could probably do a 5-part story with Marina. She's, she is going to have incredible growth. And she already has, that she's expressed. And when our listeners sort of, when they go to listen to the interview, they'll see part of that story, a small part of her journey that she's traveled on already.
Yeah, she really showed up for Return of the Buffalo in all kinds of ways, and I appreciate you. I can picture her in all those ways that you just were recalling for us, and it really paid off for her. She today has full custody of her son, Damian, who she's very proud of, and has gone from being a participant of programming at Mamawi to being one of the staff at Mamawi. So, yeah, just a really encouraging story, and I'm really happy to share her with our listeners. Just a word about if you like what we're doing here on this podcast, if you feel good about it, please do rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're consuming the podcast. It helps other people who are into similar things find out about what's going on here at Return of the Buffalo. And if you feel like you want to make some kind of financial contribution to the work here, I just encourage folks to go to the Sandy-Saulteaux website. There's a donate button with various options there if you want to support not just what's happening on the podcast, but the work of the center generally. And so without further ado, we give you our conversation with Marina. Welcome, Marina Coates, to the Return of the Buffalo podcast.
Hi.
It's good to see you and good to be sitting here with Rachel.
Hello, Marcus. Hello, Marina.
Long-time listener, first-time guest. So, for folks that don't know you, Marina, maybe let's just start with how did you connect with Return of the Buffalo?
Through Mamawi, I guess, like through Tammy. Like I signed up as soon as I heard there was a retreat because I wanted to get grounded again. And it was the beginning of my sobriety in 2019, so but I was doing it with trying to keep my family together and
Right. Did you? I don't know this. Did you ever lose custody of your son?
yes, I lost custody of Damien when he was 8 months. No, 14 months. I didn't get him back till March 6th of 2020 that he is out of care. He got signed over to me on my 30th birthday, and he's not been in care ever since.
How long was he? Yeah, and I think it was he kind of stayed in the family, right?
He stayed with my in-laws,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but they were older,
How long were you living apart?
for like a year and a half, because I didn't get him back till he was 3.
Okay, a year and a half.
Of
Wow.
jumping through CFS.
Yeah, yeah. There's hoops to jump through for sure. Um, what was that like when he was apprehended and he couldn't live with you anymore? What are your memories of that time?
My memories of that is like basically it basically was like he went to a stranger's house because my in-laws were treating me like I was a criminal because I was using, but I wasn't using like then, but
Right.
they were still treating me like I was like not allowed to see him, like he was with total strangers. I only got to see him once a week. And then that bugged me. I did that for a month of just seeing him only once a week. And then I fought for 3 times a week. And I got my 3 times a week after the whole month of just once a week.
That must have been hard. So right early on, you were fighting to see him as much as you possibly could. And who was supporting you at that time? Like, how were you involved with Mamawi then already?
No, I wasn't, because I didn't go with Mom away till he was 2.
Okay. How did you learn about Mamawi?
I walked into McGregor on like a really down day where I think my visit was taken that day, but I showed up to go visit him, and they said he wasn't there. And I was like really like down in the dumps. I was just like walking around North End. And then I stumbled upon McGregor, and then I heard you could do a self-referral for the family group conferencing program. And I did that. A week later, I had a mentor.
Yeah. And so for folks that don't know about, that was Brandy. Yeah. Brandy's awesome. So for folks that don't know about Mamawi and the family group conferencing program and the mentors and the awesome people there and how they come alongside people in their journey, tell listeners, what is Mamawi and what do they offer?
Mamawi is an awesome, like, it's my other family. It's definitely my other family, because like I wouldn't be where I am right now without Mamawi and without the people in Mamawi, like having our little talks when I'd feel like defeated by jumping through these hoops. Like I jumped through CFS hoops like 3-4 times for them, and I did like treatment on my own, and it still wasn't good enough, and I still had to keep doing everything for them. And Mamawi was really my backbone. They helped me like not get so fed up to anger where I don't want to do nothing with CFS. They helped me really just fight, find different ways without getting angry. and without getting frustrated, because I was doing programs after programs after programs, and I wasn't getting nowhere with my visits or anything.
So listening to your story about those early days with Mamawi, I'm really struck by, like, how do you find that balance between, you need some fire in your belly to fight for your family, to get your kid back, but you don't want to be so full of anger that you're kind of self-destructing. And I wonder what what they helped you with, and what you've maybe learned that you'd want to share with other people that are in a similar situation.
It's just like when I started first going to Mamawi, I was a turtle. I didn't talk to nobody. I just observed everybody. And it wasn't until my first CFS meeting with my mentor alongside me that I didn't start opening up to her and telling her the real truth. But then, like, on the way to the meeting, I told her everything, and she's like, "You should have just told me from the beginning," she says. And then, like, that just made me have more of a connection with her, that she's willing to, like, look aside of what I did to get into where I was, like, with my son being gone. Like, she didn't judge me. She just said, "We can do this, we can fix it." And Mama Way helped me really with a lot with their programming. And now I'm working with them.
And now you're working for them, yeah. And I want to hear about that a little bit later on, but maybe just like in terms of your healing journey, we're always curious, like, what makes the difference that makes the difference. You know what I mean?
The healing camp really made the difference. Like, with my healing journey, like, bringing out the Indigenous side of me, I guess, because I wasn't really, like, into sweats and into all this, like, I wasn't into that before. But as soon as we went to Sandy, it was just like, I love the land. And then watching Damian on the land, and then watching his dad on the land, made me think, like, this is where we wanted to be. They were happy. Like, Damian didn't even go on, first thing in the morning he's outside, didn't even go back in till nighttime. And I still had to drag him inside. So, like, he thrives on the land. I do too, and same with his dad. So just being able to ground ourselves that way.
So just the land itself is healing.
The land, yeah. The land is really healing.
But you also said that you hadn't really connected with the sweat lodge until coming to Sandy.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I didn't. It was I think that was my first sweat.
What was that like for you? What are your memories?
My memories is bringing Damien in for 2 rounds at 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Holding him while the bear song's going, and I could just feel him just jumping, and just being able to do a sweat with my little family at the time.
Like, he was happy to be in there with you.
Yeah, he was just, every time the drum hit, I could feel him moving to the beat. And it just, and he was on my lap, so, like, I felt it all, and I could just feel him, like, I don't know. It's just fun.
Yeah. And am I remembering this correctly? I think you received a spirit name in the lodge, and you were talking earlier about being a turtle when you, in terms of being kind of in your shell when you first came to Mamawi. Do I have that right, that I'm sitting with 2 women that received turtle names in the lodge? What did receiving that name mean to you?
In the beginning, I didn't know what to think, like, but, like, now receiving that name, like, that was me, like, before being open. That name, like, that's what I used to do, is just sit and observe. And, like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird that I'm not like that no more. So it's like about my past, my name, I guess.
It feels like it's more connected to who you were than maybe who you are today.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That'd be an interesting thing to sit with an elder and talk about.
I need to do an elder. I need to do a sweat. COVID messed it all up.
I know. I've missed that so much.
I need like 100 rock sweat after COVID's done.
Yeah.
But really, my grounding and coping while getting sober, helping me was the sweats and being on the land. I just found myself I was more lighter, I guess, after the healing camps. I felt like a lot lighter, and when I'd go to the city, I wouldn't be as triggered as I was before the heat, like the sweats and stuff. So the grounding of being on the land really helped me in the beginning of my sobriety for sure.
I feel like I've been kind of guiding the conversation. I don't know, Rachel, is there anything that's stirring for you to some thread you want to pull out or a new one you want to?
Yeah, I think one of the sort of curiosities that I have, Marina, is you you talked about when Damien was taken from you and how you fought for him right away, and I know that Mamawi has been a great support to you, but you found them a little bit later, and so I'm just kind of wondering where that fight kind of came from. Can you?
I had no fight the day that I walked in to self-refer myself to FTC. That was like the lowest that I was, like, because I was only getting my weekly visits with my kid. And like the way they were treating me was really shitty and I didn't like it. Like I wasn't using for like a couple months before they treated me like that. And then I kind of grew anger towards them, but then I had to let it go because I wouldn't have been able to get my kid home. And I don't know.
As a little girl, like, do you were you that little girl on the playground that was like um protecting others, or coming alongside others?
No, I was the quiet one.
You were the quiet one. Yeah, because that fight, sometimes I've worked with lots of families who have had contact with Child and Family Services, and sometimes what happens is they just they just give up right away. It's such a strong structure, and so I wonder, when I hear your story, it's so beautiful to hear that you engaged in that fight pretty quickly. Yeah. Just wondered kind of where that maybe came from. I know anger can be helpful sometimes, right?
No, I guess that's also the time I started finding myself too. Like when I was at my lowest, that's when I started digging for myself. I didn't know who I was that time I walked into McGregor. I didn't know who I was. I just knew I was addicted and I lost my kid. But also I was dragging the father along because I wanted my family together.
Yeah, and I know Damien's um, dad is a really a big part of your story as well, right? And I don't know how much you want to share about that. And
I don't know. What do you want to know? Because I could tell everything. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, like a question for me is, like both of you kind of started a sobriety journey together, um, as can happen sometimes with a couple, and sometimes it happens that people can kind of keep pace with each other and keep moving along side by side in that sobriety journey, and sometimes, you know, one partner is more ready than the other for whatever reason to keep moving forward, um, and that means some really difficult decisions about like when, like how long do I wait for my partner to kind of catch up with me, and when do I decide, you know, I've got to keep moving forward on my own. I'm sure that's a situation that a lot of people have, you know, that might be listening have been in, and I wonder, you know, you might have some pretty hard won wisdom uh, about that.
Um, well, it took me a whole year to actually decide to leave Delaney, and then it took me another year, well, another 6 months to actually keep my foot down after noticing he's not going to make the effort. I gave him chance after chance. He knew his son's schedule, he knew when to visit, but he kind of just dropped off the face of the earth with the connection to his son. And I recently just put my foot down a couple months ago where he's not allowed to come to my house. And it doesn't seem to bother him.
Yeah.
So I just doing me and my son now. Like, I don't know, I can't make the guy grow up like as much as I wish I could, but he won't. The one thing that made me keep my foot down was when my son would get angry and ask for his dad. And I can't do nothing about it because I don't have contact with him. But
So you picked up a kind of a signal from your son that there was a way in which he needed things to.
he needs stability and consistency. He can't.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing that I told his dad that he taught his son that tomorrow never comes, because he says he came to visit one day and then he says, I'll be back tomorrow to come visit. He hasn't been back for 2 months. And that's when I got my angry Damien for a week. I got sad crying Damien for a week. And I just couldn't get mad at it or do anything about it but just love him up.
You just had to hold him with all the feelings he was having.
Yeah, the angry ones, I was getting angry too, but I was getting angry throwing toys in the box. It's because he dumped all of his toys all over it. And I couldn't be like, pick it up, because he's mad and I can't. All I had to do was just let him do it. Pick up the pieces up.
Yeah.
But I should have actually let my partner go a year ago. Not waiting a whole year. A whole 18 months for him to smarten up. Because I would have had what I had today. I would have had what I had today last year. But I was fighting for my family that wasn't really going to be.
Like you would have had what you have now in terms of the full closing of the CFS file, and that is that what you mean?
Yeah, I would have had it all closed, but I was fighting for my family. And he was pulling it off like he wanted to fight, but then he'd go fight, get a good test, and then he'd go do drugs again. So it's like I couldn't live in that circle anymore with him.
Yeah. I imagine there was some grief and some letting go that you had to do there. Yeah.
A lot. And I had to do it on my own because COVID messed up the sweats. So
Yeah.
that's why I said I need like 100 rock sweat after.
Yeah. So what do you like without the sweat now? Like what do you do? Like what do you have a practice for feeding your spirit now?
Writing stuff out. Like writing.
Hmm.
Like right now I'm writing like I guess the timeline since my 20s till now. And I feel better doing it that way.
Hmm.
Since I can't sweat. Yeah. So just
Like it's almost another way of kind of letting things out.
yeah.
Is writing them down. That's interesting.
Yeah, like I wrote 6 pages on my life so far. And I'm only at 25 years old and I'm already 31, so nothing.
Yeah, I can hear you flipping through the pages right there. Is there anything there that sticks out for you that you think you might want to share with us this evening?
Maybe my surprise 3-week pregnancy in the middle of an addiction. Like, I guess when I got pregnant, I didn't know I was pregnant until 3 weeks before I had him, I was pregnant, they told me. And I was heavily into meth using IV needles. And I only cut down as soon as they told me I was pregnant. And that was 3 weeks before I had him. The one thing that I'm amazed with is that he wasn't addicted. That's the one thing. That's what the hospital told me. They said he would have been addicted if I used throughout my whole pregnancy, but they tested him and he wasn't born addicted. He was healthy.
Wow. What a gift. What a gift. So what a journey to go from there, from being so involved in your addiction that you didn't even know you were pregnant until 3 months before your baby was born,
Mm-hmm.
and then to have done all that healing work you've done, and today you're actually staff
Yes.
at Mamawi. What's that transition been like for you?
It was like when I first started working, it was a struggle because I was like in a depressed state. With COVID having to be home all the time, I was depressed. My mental health was not the greatest. But being able to work,
Yeah.
that helped my mental health a lot. And being able to provide for Damien and like the stability that Mamawi
Yeah.
is helping me keep my family together. Like just me and my son.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting that what you're saying about like that when you first started working that you were really depressed, and some people might think that that people who are really struggling with their mental health, like you shouldn't be they shouldn't be trusted with a job yet, and but in your case it was like having that work, having that routine, having that meaning seems like it would really helped you actually break out of a depression.
It actually also brought out this whole new me. This whole loud me that nobody knows I am, but I am loud.
The loud you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the part that still needs a name.
Yeah.
Loud Marina. So tell us about Loud Marina. What's she like?
She's crazy. Just kidding. No. It's really, I don't know. Like, it's just shocking, like, compared to what I used to be, what I'm used to, I guess. Just being quiet, sit back. And like people come see me at work and they're like, as if that's you. You used to be quiet. You never said anything, but I'm the loudest one at work. Yeah.
That's interesting. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know. Like,
Is it finally being in a community where you feel safe, like where you can kind of come out of your shell?
yeah, it's like, because it's my other family. I don't do nothing but
Right.
work and come home. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting how we can discover whole new sides of ourselves when we're finally with people that we feel safe with.
Yeah. And these people at my work don't know what I've been through, so they've never seen the quiet Marina, the broken Marina, basically. So like they've seen this only loud person. They don't know. They don't know what to expect, I guess.
You got to kind of turn over a whole new leaf.
Yeah.
And some people don't even know that previous version.
I have some of my coworkers now reading my book that I'm writing. I'm like, you want to know me? Here. Yeah, because like people are shocked when they hear just one part of my story. They're just like, "What? You went through that?"
Huh. Wow. That sounds kind of vulnerable.
I don't know. It's just people want to know like what I used to be like.
Yeah.
I feel better that it's off being in my body like that. After I wrote it down, I felt so much better.
Huh.
Like not having to hold it in and hide it from people. Yeah.
It's interesting. It felt like it actually was like a weight that left your body.
Yeah, that's why I feel like writing all the time. Like I just want to write my stuff and then I feel better. I guess that's my grounding.
Yeah. Yeah.
COVID wise.
And it's like you also said something there about like you don't like it being a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marina, when you think about your time back at Sandy-Saulteaux and at the retreats, can you kind of take us back there a little bit and tell us like what really stuck out for you? Like what are the memories that you still sort of hold and you carry with you?
The kayaking will always stay with me. The
Hmm.
kayaking was the best part. Like just floating around. I just loved it. And like I just like being outside, like by the fire and like following that turtle. Remember that big turtle in the garden?
Yes.
Yeah, following that thing that stuck to me. I guess just because my name, but like it, I don't know. I just always see that turtle every now and then.
Yeah.
It like comes across like some random times. I'm just like, oh, that turtle.
Yeah, we had visits from many different animals.
Oh, the foxes were the best at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were the eagles every once in a while that we would see sort of flying across. I don't know if you had seen them, but
yeah, and then there was a hawk or something.
yeah, the hawks right around the sweat. Yeah.
Watch. Yeah.
And all the crayfish in the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just being on the land, I just love it.
Yeah.
And watching Damian and Delaney too, like I liked it out there because everybody was happy.
Now, is that where Damien sort of got introduced to the drum?
Yeah. And his first sweat.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about his relationship with the drum?
that little boy is, I don't know, he's got the drum beat like down pat. His favorite is Bear Song. He loves singing that one.
Mm.
But as soon as he hears the drum, everything stops. He doesn't care where he is. He'll just stop and go follow where the drum is. And he'll have to sit and watch you play it until you stop.
Yeah.
Like that's how his connection is.
Yeah.
And even like any music instruments, he's just like stuck there. The piano, he loves that thing.
Yeah, it's mesmerizing, I think, for him. I think you had sent us something on Messenger, and it was him playing the drum. Does he have his own drum now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Delaney made his drum at
Okay.
the men's retreat.
at the men's retreat. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's special. Yeah, and Delaney did the paintings on my drum,
Mhm.
which are still very meaningful to me.
Yeah. It's the out there grounds that guy, and I can see him thrive,
Yeah.
but the city is no good.
Yeah, the concrete jungle.
Oh, I don't like it here. My next move is out of the outskirts once I have my full license, and my dog and my son need their space.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have a plan. You're working now, and I mean that for surely has probably been a big shift. I remember when I was at home with my kids, and then I started working. It was a big shift, from caring for kids to being working.
Yeah, I get like Damian's sad days where he's like, "Mommy, don't go to work,"
Yeah.
or "Mommy, are you coming home for sure?" Like he doubts me. He doubts me because of his dad's actions, and it bugs me all day at work. Like when he does that to me, because I'm just like, all I keep saying is, "Yeah, I'll be back. I promise. I'm always back."
Yeah.
That's all I can say to him. But yeah, it's just when he gets his sad days, I guess. But every other day is pretty good. And me, we have our best days.
And your mom lives with you now, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she helps with.
Taking him to school. And
Is he in bed now, or is he with her now? What's? Yeah. Yeah.
He's upstairs.
It is really interesting, how when we don't expect children to sort of arrive in our lives, that's kind of what happened to me as well. I had a little bit more notice than you did, though, Marina. How your life just really shifts, like your focus, what's important. Can you talk a little bit about his arrival and how that changed things for you?
It changed lots for me, like, because I was still with his dad. We were together for 7 years before we had him, and we weren't preventing a him. So, like, when it happened, we were just completely shocked. We were like, yes, we get our family. So that's why I fought so hard for my family. And I didn't want to give up on Delaney, but he made his own choice. He made me give up on him, and I didn't want to. But with Damien coming along, like, Damien was plopped in my life at the darkest part of my life. Like, I was at complete rock bottom. I burnt a bridge with family and friends just for my drugs. And he was legit plopped right in the middle, and he was the light to my rock bottom, and he got me out of being on a rock bottom. And like after he was born, it was like golden. I had my family, I had a home, we had everything. It was just us, no CFS involved yet. And just a happy family.
And when you think of like around the time that CFS started getting involved, like what could have supported you? What could have made a difference so that you didn't fall back into that darkness again?
I guess like reaching out for support, like through the community, like me joining programs that I knew I already had certificates for, but I did them because CFS said so. But like just doing programs and showing CFS that you are doing what they say, and then when they throw the curveball at you, well, they set you up for failure. Like that's what everybody says, and it is true. They do set you up for failure. They want to see you fail, not thrive. And just being able to stick it through the hoops that they send you through, and just reaching out to the community. Like Mamawi really definitely helped save me and my kid.
So those relationships with people who have already traveled that road, or for people who have walked beside lots of people, like those community relationships have really helped, and would have really helped maybe veer you even away from having had contact with CFS.
Yeah.
I mean, you have given that, I think, to Sandy and to the Return of the Buffalo retreats. I mean, you've been a constant, I think, in like since the retreats, Marina.
Yeah.
And like you show up for all the additional stuff that Sandy-Saulteaux plans, and you've responded to this call as well to just sit and talk with us.
Yeah.
I mean, Marcus and I were in the summer when we dropped off shoes. We got to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a gift that you bring us as well. So
yeah, you're
part of that web that we're all trying to.
And I'm happy you guys are a part of my web, like being a part of this bringing out this new me you guys did.
Yeah, we're giving Loud Marina like a whole new platform here.
We're like putting this sitting turtle woman away. Like
big talking turtle woman coming your way.
Well, you can take over the podcast anytime you want, Marina.
Well, it's been such a treat to sit with you this evening, and it's such an honor to have you share your story with us, and I'm just especially thinking of some of our listeners. Actually, I remember you commenting after Deandra Rose Powderhorn shared her story on the podcast. About how helpful hearing her story was, and I'm sure you're going to have that same effect for others, and that message of hope, that you bring, that even at your darkest point, can be very close to turning around to the light and to family and to community and to healing and reconnecting to the culture and the land. I think that's really sitting with me today. Just the power of the land in your story, and so we look forward to seeing you on the land again.
Yes.
We're gonna have to schedule things a little more carefully now that you're a working mom.
Yeah. Well, I just need like a week notice at least.
All right. Well, the next Return of the Buffalo reunion is March 5 and 6.
My birthday.
Oh, really?
When's your birthday, Marina?
On the 6th.
Mine is too.
What?
And that'll be 2 years Damien's home.
Well,
Yeah.
party time.
Well, I'm coming.
Holy smokes. Okay. And you just discovered that you are both turtle women and you have the same birthday.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I've got goosebumps now.
Aw.
Well.
Sister turtles.
Yeah. Turtle sisters. The turtle sisters.
Turtle sisters. There you go. Yeah.
Well, wow. So many blessings and so many thanks. It's so good to be, in your circle and have you in our circle.
I'm blessed to have you guys in my circle and in my new sobriety. This sobriety path.
Yeah. Beautiful. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.